Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much once again for clicking on this video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much, and I hope that you're going to be camping around. If you are somebody who is a returner, thank you so much for all your love and for all your support. Let's get into this week's video. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about a question that I get asked quite a lot, and that is, why did I decide to go back to university in my late 20s? For those of you guys who don't know, I am 29 years old and I will actually be turning 30 in this year 2021. I actually went back to university when I was 26 and I was going to turn 27, and so there are actually quite a number of reasons why people decide to go to university in their late 20s or in their 30s. Now, I went back to university because I had not finished my first degree, and I actually wanted to start over with another whole new degree. Now, I have told you guys the story about how I struggled through university and ended up taking 10 years, girl. Yes, 10 years to finish my first undergrad degree. And if you haven't already watched my previous videos, please be sure to check out that story. There's a part 1 and there's a part 2, so please click right here and it will lead you right straight to the video. The first benefit or a pro in this situation about going back to university is that you are mature. So maturity is something that will definitely work in your favor. At this stage, well, I don't know about you guys, but at this stage I had already worked in a work environment as a teacher, like I said before, for 3 years. So I had a work experience, and because of that, I know what it's like to be around people. I know what it's like to work with people, and I just have a better perspective from somebody who is coming to university straight from high school. They haven't actually been in a working environment. All they've ever known is school at this point. So I would say that it really works in your favor, that you're mature, you've got a better perspective, and also because of the experiences that you've gathered through the years, you know how to deal with people. University also comes with a lot of stress. Usually the workload is quite a lot, especially in your first year. So because you are much more mature, you are able to cope with the stress. You don't stress and you don't sweat the little things. So I think that that is definitely a pro. Another benefit I would say that I saw from very early on is that you know exactly what you want. This means that you have a clearer sense of direction when it comes to things like choosing modules and actually making the decision to sit down and to study for those tests, no matter how difficult it may seem. So because you have a clear sense of direction, your priorities are set, and you know what it is that you must do to get done the things that must get done. So yeah, definitely a big advantage if you are a mature student. Another pro is that you have more time to yourself. Now, I found this pleasantly surprising. When I went back to university, I found that I had more time to myself. I had more time to do more of the things that I wanted to do. If I wanted to read a book in the afternoon, I could do that. Maybe I had you could have a free period in between, and so you could just sit down and read a book or two. I found that when I was working, I didn't have a lot of time to myself. It was either you've got a task to do or your boss is just keeping an eye on you. You can't even take a nap in between classes, because I was a teacher. I couldn't even take a nap between classes. Whereas if you are a student, in between your lectures, if you have a free, maybe let's say you have a free double lecture in between, you can take a nap and nobody is going to be questioning you about that. So generally, I would say that you have much more time to yourself to do more of the things that you would like to do. Another benefit of going back to university, this is actually building up onto the first one, is that you have much more experience. Because you have been in a working environment, You are most likely able to deal with people, like I mentioned before. You know how to deal with office politics, and because you've acquired all of those people skills, it becomes easier for you to actually make friends with your professor, make friends with your lecturers, and all of that is actually going to help you in building a network and being able to navigate your way around university. So yeah, experience is actually very important, I would say. Also, because you've been to the working world, you know how it works, and most of the time you have to have worked in teams. It makes stuff so much easier when you get to university and you have to work in groups with people. You have to deal with all the different personalities. You know how to remain calm because you have dealt with some serious office politics, most likely, like I did. Yeah, so this is something that is a major advantage to you as a mature student. Experience. As a mature student, I would say that one of the major cons is making new friends. Because you are older and you've returned to university with 18-year-olds and possibly 19-year-olds, and you're like this 20 something year old, or maybe even like a 30 something year old, you're gonna have to try and make friends with people who are younger than you. Now, in university, the most popular ways of fostering new friendships, of getting students to meet new friends, is for the organization. They organize like social gatherings. Some students go out drinking together. Now, if you are much more mature, sometimes you're not into that anymore. You're not into going out with friends and staying out late at night drinking. You want something more chilled and more laid back. So what I found to be very helpful in this situation was to actually join societies. In my first year, I joined the Rhodes Music Radio station, and that's where I actually landed one of my first jobs as a newsreader. I was so excited about that gig. And I also joined, I was a member of the Opidan Press, and I worked as a content producer and as a presenter. I also managed to make a lot of new friends there, and I found that when I was in res, I actually made friends with some of the senior students, which was interesting enough. But I think that made a lot of sense. I decided to stay in res, so that also helped me in making friends. I made a lot of friends with some of the seniors. Most of my friends, actually all of my friends, my very close friends in my first year were some of the senior students. I guess I just gravitated towards them because of the whole mentality of how I'm older and they're older. So yeah, I would really encourage you to join societies, and if you are able and if you think you can manage that, I would suggest that you go back to res. I went back to res and I thoroughly enjoyed my stay. Another disadvantage about going back to university when you're older is self-doubt. So you must understand that you're in an environment where you're surrounded by a lot of young people, and so every now and then you're gonna look at yourself and you're gonna think, oh my gosh, all these kids are so young, they're so fresh, they have so much ahead of them, and what have I done with my life? Am I really able to do all of this? These are the questions that will come to your mind every now and then. So that is why it's very important. You must know why you are back at university and what it is that you plan to do with your degree. Yeah, that's it really. Being a university student in your late 20s or in your early 30s is actually not a bad thing at all. If you look at the positive side of things, and if you've got a positive attitude, I would say something very important also, I think that you will get through it. So soldier on, people. Let's get these degrees and let's get this education. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment right below, and I will be sure to respond to your comment. Thank you so much guys for your love, and thank you for your support. Please stick around and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already.